You are listening to Venture Beyond, Stories from Hidden Worlds. If you enjoy this episode, please leave a like down below and share with a friend. And, if you haven't already, subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode or new series and updates. You know, it's funny, right after I hit record is when I thought, should I call you Earlybird? Like, you know,
whichever you prefer. Most people just use early because it's shorter.
Gotcha. Like, of course, that's when it hits me. So with that lovely introduction, everybody, I have one of my favorite channels to watch. You know, not to put you too far up on a pedestal there, but seriously, every time I see one of your videos pop up in my feed, I'm just like, ooh, gotta watch that tonight. Let's go. Sometimes I'll pop it on at work. You know, it's just a highlight to my day. But anyway, I have the awesome, super funny, very insightful Earlybird here with me today.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me and talking with me. I'm just shocked that anybody, you know, watches my videos or anything like that. It's, you know, I've been doing it for like a year and a half and it's still completely shocking to me. So.
And, you know, people, yeah, the stereotype is like, oh, I've watched all of your videos. No, I've literally gone back and watched like every single one, all the way back to the worst Steam demo, the horse one.
Oh yeah, those ones get a little bit weird.
Yeah, you know, it's funny though, right? Like, I thought the broke farmer was really fun, you know. Like, were those like chop ups of streams, it seemed like? Or
they were. Okay, so I used to stream back in the day, but then once there was more than like 5 people there, I got shy and kind of chickened out.
It's like, it's too many people.
I was like, oh my goodness, the chat's actually moving. I'm scared.
There's actually words.
Yeah. Well, that and I have very poor rural internet. So I was streaming at like 480p. It was glorious.
Oh man, you know, that's the quality that these days would just be nostalgic. They'd be like, oh man, I remember 144p YouTube, man. Oh, those were the days. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
call
tell
it a
everybody
retro stream at that point.
Yeah. It's on purpose.
It's totally part of the vibe. That's why we put the VHS scan lines on, you know, like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's for the aesthetic, actually.
Yeah, 100% aesthetic. It's not because of the internet, I promise.
Yeah.
So you have a wonderful channel where you dig up fun nuggets of history and talk about refrigerators.
Yep. We do love refrigerators around here.
I absolutely loved that episode, by the way. I was like, have you ever watched the channel Any Austin?
I have not. No.
So his whole like premise is looking in video games for the most mundane thing he can find. So like he'll follow a river in like Red Dead Redemption 2 to see if it hydrologically makes sense. You know, stuff like that.
This sounds like content right up my alley. I got to check this out.
I know it's a vibe. It's like when I first saw one of his videos, what was it? I think it was do the power lines in GTA make sense? And he just follows the power lines in GTA 5, not 6, because 6 isn't out yet. Maybe he's a hacker and he got in the Matrix. No, I'm just kidding. And just like followed the power lines until they got to a substation and stuff like that. It's like, is this like an actual, you know, system? And I've just kind of been like tuning in ever since, you know, just seeing what super mundane but very interesting thing he pulls up. And that's what the refrigerators and horror games video reminded me of. Even though like sometimes something super important is in the refrigerator, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I got kind of bullied by my Discord server to actually make that. I was like joking about it in another video, and then they were like, no, you have to actually do it. And now the people want, like scary bathrooms in games too. So maybe that'll come out someday.
Only toilets.
Yeah.
Make a website, it's OT instead of, OnlyFans. It's only toilets. Yeah. It's only toilets and horror games.
That'll be the theme of the video. Yeah, that's good.
Welcome to Only Toilets, where we talk about things that go flushy flush.
Yeah, we're using that as the intro.
Yes, 100%. You could steal it. So, I love the games that you find, because one, I never had a PlayStation console like ever. So, anything on PS1, PS2, anything like that was stuff that I never got to play. So one of the things that helped me find your channel is, that I was looking for PlayStation titles, period, just to like catch up on. And I try to find something that I'm like, I have no idea what that is. Let's find out. And the video that brought me to your channel, that I saw randomly on recommendations, was your video on Kudelka. And I remember, like, I was watching through it and I was like, oh man, this is like really, really neat commentary on the game, and some interesting little tidbits and insights as we go. But I thought you might find it interesting, like what the real hook for me was, like the moment where I was like, okay, now I have to watch everything that's Earlybird. It was the moment where you just let the cutscene where they're both drunk, and they're around the fireplace.
Yeah, that's such a good scene.
Where you just let it play. And I was like, that choice to just kind of let it play for a minute so that everyone could, get the feel for it. And then immediately afterwards, you have like a little tidbit where you talk about the scene. And then there was like, I can't even remember what the joke was, but it was like a perfect tension cutter of like, oh my God, we just had like too much feels, and oh, blessedly, we got a joke now. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was the moment where I was like, okay, now I have to watch everything.
Well, you know what's funny? People, like, whenever I like read through my comments on YouTube, people are so split on that. I have like a lot of people that tell me that I leave way too much of the game in. And then a lot of people that are like, oh, I like that you leave that much of the game in. Because some people are like, oh, it makes the video take too long, and this is how I end up with 3.5 hour videos. But, I don't really make the videos to like yap that much. I mostly make them because I really like the game. And it's almost kind of like, there's so many games in the world, people can't play them all. So it's like a Cliff Notes version so that everybody can appreciate it, kind of a thing. So I'm like, if a scene's good, I'm letting it speak for itself, So I just leave them in, but some people aren't a fan of that.
No, and I get that, because to a certain extent, you want to have your bits of commentary and things like that. Yeah. You want to guide people through the game, in case they're not playing it themselves, which is one of the reasons I stuck around, because I was like, oh, I'm actually getting to know what this game is all about. Right. But I think those little moments where you just kind of let the game talk for itself here and there, like, it's sort of like, you know how you have those sampler platters at a restaurant, that's oh, you could, try like 5 different, appetizers or whatever. Every now and then you need like a piece of the real thing, not just
some sustenance.
A piece of the real thing that tells you like what this is all about, what it really feels like, and sometimes I've noticed that you'll show like a piece of gameplay, like how long the battles are in this one, or
Yeah.
how easy it is to
painful.
mess up this thing.
Yeah.
And then other times it's like letting a cutscene run for a minute so that people can actually taste the game, as it were, because just talking over it may not actually say the same thing. And
Well,
I love
I've had
that level of respect.
Yeah, I've had that when I'm watching other people's videos where I'm like, they'll mention something that happens in a scene, and I'm like, well, wait, that sounds really interesting. You should show me that. So
it's like they said what?
Yeah. But yeah, no, originally I was just kind of uploading random stuff. A lot of my original videos actually aren't still up there. I had to take them down. So when I very,
in a good
very,
way
very
or
first,
a bad way?
well, okay. So when I very first started uploading, right, one of my friends was streaming on Twitch, and I was like, oh, I'm going to learn how to use the video editing program so that I can put together, like little compilations of their Twitch clips. And
gotcha.
so I started learning how to edit that way. But my friend all of a sudden stopped having any interest in streaming on Twitch. But I was still invested in learning how to use this program now. So I was like, all right, well, I guess it's up to me. I got to make something now. So I just started making random stuff. And originally I was just sending it to my friends. Like me and my 3 friends would, have like a little laugh about it. And I figured that's all it would ever be. So the first couple of videos that I actually made, I thought it would be really funny to play like the worst rated, crustiest, just like worst voice acting adult games on Steam.
Yes. Okay.
So the original first couple of videos were that, and they were censored and everything, but basically, for some reason, when people actually came to the channel and started watching stuff, which I was and am still shocked by, YouTube, when they offer you a partner on YouTube, they're like, hey, a real person is going to come look at your channel and make sure everything's appropriate to be in the partner program. So I was like, ooh, those got to go.
Let me scrub this up.
Yeah, we gotta clean up around here.
Oh man, I did not know that. That's really funny.
Yeah, I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 videos of these just like random, terrible adult Steam games.
Oh man. Early got started with the Bow Chicka Bow Wow games.
Yeah, but then I was like, that might be a little bit much for YouTube. YouTube does not appreciate things of that nature.
Yeah. It's really funny, like what they're totally cool with and what they'll come down and be like, no, you can't put that up.
You have no idea the things that they'll let me show versus what they'll message me about or like demonetize me for. It is ridiculous. It makes no sense. And I'm like, okay.
They said shit too many times. Oh no.
Okay. Sorry if this is a little bit too crass. I apologize in advance. But
No, you're
so
good.
basically, the final boss in Kodelka, how she's she's she has a bare chest and she has like runes all over her chest.
Yeah.
But there's nothing. It's not like super graphic or anything, right?
Right.
I got in trouble for showing that scene. But then like basically anything in Harvester was fine. So I was like,
so
okay.
Like
I don't really get. They just do what they want, man.
What's really funny about that is like Kodelka's like full 3D models. It's all like, if you're gonna argue that something's art, that's art. Someone had to make every little bit of that. With Harvester, like a lot of that is like pictures and gifs of a person doing a thing.
Right.
That made it.
Oh yeah, I was so sure I was getting in trouble for Harvester. There was there's an infamous moment that people noticed where I was like kind of censoring things, and I had my little my little blockatile birds that censor things. And
yes, which are always funny.
Yeah, and I missed a couple frames in Harvester, and I was like, you know what, like I noticed it as it was uploading, but my internet's really slow and it was already like half uploaded and it takes me like a day and a half to upload a video. So I was like, you know what, we're just keeping it. And I thought for sure I was going to get in trouble for that, but no, they never cared about that at all. But the Kodelka final boss model, nope, that's too much. So, all right.
Too wangly dangly. Yeah. It's too spider-like. Sorry, you gotta cover him up, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely interesting what they allow and what they don't allow. It's always a fun surprise.
Yeah, no kidding. So my channel, I started in game streaming and stuff like that. Well, actually, sorry. Before I was in streaming, I made like really shitty Let's Play videos, like the shittiest you can do. Like me dying a lot in Dark Souls 3, kind of shitty. That
sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, but also like making no progress for 3 episodes because I keep dying to early, enemies and stuff. Like, it gets a little frustrating.
Sure.
So after that, a friend that I have who was already in streaming was like, dude, you gotta stream. And I was like, no, nobody's gonna watch me, whatever. They're like, dude, you gotta stream. I'm like, no. Wait, who would tune in live to see me talking? Like, nah, I don't care. And he's like, okay, stream this game. And he shoved like Doki Doki Literature Club in my face. And he's like, stream this.
Yeah.
Didn't tell me anything about it. He's just like, just do it. And I was like,
ooh, you got blindsided.
I was like, oh, whatever, no one's going to tune in. Mm-hmm. People tuned in for that because it was like maybe a month after it came out. So there a lot of people at that point already knew what was going on. They wanted to see more people react raw, right?
Right.
So technically that wasn't our like first stream. I think the very first thing I ever streamed was Pokemon Crystal.
Ooh,
because
that's a good choice.
Yeah, that's my Jimmy Jam.
I have that in my desk right next to me right now, a little physical copy of it.
Well, there you go. See, I knew we needed to hang out. This just confirms it right there. Okay, well, this brings me to probably the most important question when it comes to Pokemon. In Pokemon Crystal, who's your go-to starter?
Probably Totodile. I kind of flip-flop between Totodile and Cyndaquil, but I think Totodile's the favorite.
It's such an impossible question for me because like Chikorita was my first one that I ever picked for Pokemon Silver. I have no idea why I picked Chikorita. I just got a vibe.
Chikorita's cute, that's why.
It probably so. And ever since I've played that game so many times now, it's not even funny. But every time, it doesn't matter who I pick, I'm going to have a good time. Yeah, you're going to struggle bus with Meganium, but you're still going to have fun. I think it's interesting that, they all work so well in that game. And there's like entire Pokemon games where depending on what starter you pick, you're just not going to have a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. I didn't expect to talk about Pokemon. That's fun. It finds its way into every conversation somehow. So do you keep up with Pokemon?
I do not.
No.
I think the last one that I played was like when Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out, and they had the little like the pedometer things. That was the last time I played one.
I'm so sad to say that I like totally lost my pedometer like a month after I got the game, and I was super upset because I had a Pokemon on it that I really liked, and I was walking around with it to like level it up and stuff, to get some stuff, and then it was gone, and that sucked.
I had the exact opposite experience where I had the pedometer in my pocket, and somebody stole my bag that I had the DS in.
Oh
So
my
I have
God.
my Pokewalker still, but I have no more DS. It got stolen. So there's an eternally trapped Typhlosion in my Pokewalker.
He's like, one day I'll make it out. It's like hitting the walls of the Pokeball, like, please, I've been good.
He's been in there a while, poor little guy.
I haven't started any fires today. Can I come into the out now? Oh man, that is funny that you had your DS stolen and I lost the pedometer, like the complete opposite thing.
With our powers combined,
We could have had an entire Pokemon experience right there.
Yeah.
So is that like what took your wind out of the sails when it came to Pokemon? You know, the loss of the DS and stuff, or
honestly, mostly, and then just I used to play like the little handheld consoles like a lot.
Yeah.
But I just kind of eventually, I don't know, I can't, like, there's like a ton of like mobile games and stuff like that. I'm like too old now. I'm like, I have to be like on my PC to play a game or I can't function.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, playing a game on my phone, like I can't get into it. You know, handhelds are a little bit different for me, but you know, that's because I was raised with the Game Boy. You know, when you're part of the Game Boy generation, you know, it's a little bit different. But you know, if I'm sitting somewhere on my phone, I'm probably like sitting down and writing on my phone instead of like pulling up Farmville or whatever the kids play these days. You know, on damn phones. Mm-hmm. They got them Fortnites and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't believe
these,
we got to Pokemon somehow.
Hey, you know, generationally, Pokemon is like, you know, arguably one of the biggest.
That's true.
You know, I think like anybody that's kind of like around our age that plays games has Pokemon in common.
Yeah, they at least know one Pokemon. Like there was a girl, there was like a super preppy girl that I had a class with in college. And she was like, always had like the newest fashion and, you know, everything like that. Right. Like, you know, super preppy girl. Mm-hmm. She knew Jigglypuff. I was like, okay, the least nerdy person I could find knew a Pokemon. You know? Yeah. My boss at work, who is not of our generation, knows a Pokemon. I'm like, you know, it just found its tentacles into somewhere. You know,
my mom, who she is the least video game person ever. Like she has zero interest in it whatsoever. Somehow or another, she got really, really, really into Pokemon Go.
Oh.
And she likes all the little pink ones too, you know, like the Jigglypuff, Chansey, Clefairy. She has like a little pink team.
So is it because, you know, it involved like walking around or going to places, or did it just like kind of hit that vibe for her where she could do something while doing something else? Like, you know what I mean?
Back that summer when it came out, when it was like magical, like everybody was out, you know, playing it.
Yeah.
Me and my friend, we would go out like every single day and we'd walk over to a park that was nearby so that we could go to like the gym. And she was just like, you know, why are you guys spending, like grown ass adults spending time at the damn park all the time? What are you doing? And so I was like joking around with her and I was like, oh, you should download it. Come with us. It's really fun. So she did. And then she got like, you know, addicted to like spinning things and catching things. And she just got really into it. She actually played it a lot longer than I did.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
She's a big Pokemon fan now. I keep trying to get her to play one of like the actual games. So one day I'll convince her.
one day, and it'll be not a magnanimous. Why am I trying to say magnanimous? Magnificent day is what I was trying to say. Why am I trying to say a harder word to say that doesn't even mean what I'm trying to say? Can you tell I've been writing and recording for my podcast all day? I'm like way too wordy right now.
See, I have the opposite problem. I'm always like, my brain has become soup. I don't know what to say.
Hey, that happens. That happens. Believe me. It's like, I don't want to word. No word.
Or there's wonderful times when you're trying to pronounce a word and it's not happening. So you switch words.
Doesn't work. It's for some reason today. For some reason today, I couldn't say exactly in when I was recording an episode of the podcast. It's like exactly is the word, the word that we can't say today. The exact word is exactly. Really? Like, how is it this one? I don't even say it that much. Oh man, the word jumbles, they find you at some point.
They sure do. They sure do. At the worst time.
Oh man, it's right when you need to like finish something up, because like you're running up on time and I can't record anymore today. All right. Ah, crap.
Oh, you should hear some of my little bloopers when I'm recording stuff for videos. Sometimes I'll do a line like 20 times. Because I just cannot speak properly.
Have you ever thought about putting some of those out? Because I always put them out on.
Okay. I do if they're really funny. Like in the Kodelka video when I accidentally called the gargoyle sexy, that was me malfunctioning. So I thought that was funny, so I left that one in.
Oh, that was so good. I thought I loved that so much. I was like, maybe in the right light. I could see it.
He's a little cute.
Yeah. You've been doing these super slow battles for a really long time. Yeah. Maybe your gargoyle does it for you now. Yeah.
You got enough time to look at him for sure.
It's like, ooh, from this angle. Damn.
But yeah, sometimes if I think they're funny, I do leave them in.
Oh, that's great.
But it's usually me just like struggling to pronounce a basic word.
Yes. Every time it's like the easiest word in a sentence. I'm like, how is it this one? I'm saying modularity, convection currents, and blah, 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 and like I can't say in. Thanks.
Yeah,
I can't preposition
I
now. Oh boy. So I feel like I know the answer to this question, but I kind of want to see if I'm right. So I'm not going to say what I think the answer is. What has been your favorite game that you've covered? Was there like a sleeper hit that you're like, ooh, man, I enjoyed this way more than I thought I did? Or is there
like actually playing through the game or
playing through the game or your coverage of it? What right.
Okay, so the game that I played that I was kind of expecting to hate because I had to go through a bunch of BS to even get through it was Overblood 2. But like actually playing the game, like I kind of miss it. Like I want to replay it. Like it's when it's not being crusty, it's a genuinely fun game. But my favorite game that I've covered is Shadow Hearts Covenant. It's my favorite game of all time, which is why that video is so freakishly long.
Well, I feel like it deserves my favorite game. Yeah, I feel like it deserves that though. Like there's a lot more to it than I think most people give it credit for. Mm-hmm. And you really gave it a lot of time to breathe and, be like, see, This does work.
You know what's funny? There's somebody in the Discord server, Saf. Shout out to Saf. She knows a lot about that series, and she knows a lot about like the history that like the alternate history is like based on. And I wish that I had been talking to her before I made that, because some of the stuff that she's told me about like the alternate history in the game, I'm like, oh my god, I wish I could like add another hour to that video. It's like some really cool stuff. So
maybe that's a future video idea. Things I got wrong, or things I wish I knew about blah blah blah. You know, that's not bad. For sure. I'd watch it.
Like, hey, you guys, I know that video is 3.5 hours, but there's more.
Here's the DLC for my video from before. It's cheaper than the horse armor for Oblivion. I totally believe you about Overblood too, because I think you say as much while you were playing it. Like, you while you were talking about it near the end of the video, like you didn't expect to enjoy it as much as you did.
I thought it was just going to be, like really clunky and obnoxious to play, but its issue is that it's too cryptic sometimes, and it's kind of hard to figure out what to do. But like actually playing it, like they give you so many different ways to do things, and there's so many different like weapon types, and it's got like the spy thriller vibe where you can like go on a hang glider and find like little secret ledges and stuff. It's actually really, really fun to play.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was a really cool one, because I didn't know anything about that series whatsoever. Again, like, one of the reasons that I was attracted to your channel is because you were covering stuff that I'd never heard of before, and I was like, well, it's time to learn. Yeah. So even if it was like one of the super low budget Steam games, or something like that, I just popped it on because I was like, I want to know, what is this all about? For some reason, like before I watched Harvester, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this one. And then I watch it. One, your comments about, the things like, oh no, well, that sucks. Just like totally made it work, because something about point and click games like usually turns me off,
I'm the opposite.
Whatever.
I love me some point and clicks.
So like I was willing to give it a chance just because it was one of your videos, and I'm really glad I watched it, because it's like, that is a very interesting piece of history right there.
Yeah, that game is definitely so that game is like, I kind of have this weird kind of like, my YouTube audience is kind of split into two groups. There's like the JRPG group, and then there's like the horror group, and they sometimes sometimes people that came around for like a game like Shadow Hearts, for example, Harvester's a little bit much. So sometimes the games I upload are, yeah.
Yeah, it's you're kind of rolling the dice, and of course sometimes you have some overlap depending on the kind of the subject matter in there, because kind of Galarians kind of straddles that line.
Yeah, for sure. There's always like a little bit overlap, but yeah.
That's cool. So I have a couple of what I call my inside the actor studio questions. Did you ever watch that show when it was coming out?
I don't believe so.
So it was this guy, I can't remember his name. He would just like have on, whoever, right? Like he would have, different actors on, like Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McClellan, of course, those are the first two actors that I think of, right? Like right off the top of my head. But he always had like a set of questions that he would hit him with at the end. This isn't the end of the interview. Just like, anyway, one of his, questions was like, when you get to the pearly gates, what are you going to say to God? Things like that. I have my own set of questions, and the most important one of those questions that I feel like says so much about a person is, what is your ideal pizza?
Okay, so I am God's most boring pizza enjoyer. I like me a plain, classic, little bit of pepperoni, stuffed crust with a little packet of pepper flakes or two on top.
Hey, the stuffed crust is different from like just a pepperoni pizza. So it's more exciting than that.
Yep. Sometimes depending on where you go, you could get real crazy, and they can put the like the garlic butter sauce on top of the stuffed crust pizza. That's
now you're talking.
It's all in the crust for me, apparently.
Whatever the crust is doing is what we're here for.
Yeah.
Leave the rest of the pizza, just crust for me.
Hey, I'll just take some breadsticks or crazy bread too. That's fine with me. I want the carbs, apparently.
Do you have like a specific chain or like pizza joint that you prefer, or is it just kind of like whoever has it is what I take?
I like Pizza Hut. I think Pizza Hut is good. Domino's is gross, and then we also have a I don't know if you have them by you, but we have Marco's Pizza. I like Marco's.
Oh yeah. You don't like Marco's?
I do like Marco's. They got the old rolled pepperonis.
Yes.
Those are good.
Yes. Sorry, I misheard. I was like, Marco's is good. What are you talking about?
The only one I don't like Domino's. Domino's just does not do it for me.
Yeah, Domino's. If I wanted cardboard pizza, I could get cardboard. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be really good at that. I remember when they redid the formula for their pizza crust, and they were like, "Come try our new crust," and me being Mr. Dumb was like, "Oh, they changed it. I gotta go try it. Buy it. It's the same damn cardboard crust." I'm like, why? Why did you trick me? Why did you do this?
Yeah, I'm kind of like out in the middle of nowhere, like rural down a dirt road, and the only place for a while before we got a Marco's that would deliver is Domino's. And so one time I tried it after not having it for like 10 years, and I was like, no, I'm good.
I'm good forever, never trying again.
They have like okay sides, but like the actual pizza is like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like you didn't have to bake it in a cardboard oven,
Yeah.
Just saying. So like I drive my wife crazy saying this, but like Subway, Subway's bread has this taste to it that is very strange to me. And so I call it bread that's made in a dishwasher. It's like, would you like some dishwasher bread? It has kind of like a soapy taste to it.
It's like musky almost too. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, no, you get me.
Yeah, totally. Like, why does it taste like that?
I like Jersey Mike's. Jersey Mike's is my fave.
Oh yeah. What's your favorite sandwich there?
Anything that I can put provolone and a ton of vinegar on. I really like that they.
You're a provolone girl, yeah.
I do. I love provolone.
Dude,
and I love that
best cheese.
It is the best cheese. I agree.
Oh my god. That and fresh mozzarella, I could just eat those two for the rest of my life and I'd die happy.
Yeah. Quality cheeses.
100%. Oh, that's cool. That's funny. You need to put that on your YouTube, about me. It's like, I'm a provolone. and with no setup whatsoever. Don't explain it. So I was like, dude, what does this mean? It's like, just don't ask questions, okay?
American cheese enjoyers are not welcome here.
Get that cheese product out of here, guys. Oh man. Oh, that's awesome. You don't find a lot of people that are like, yo, provolone's my jam. That's awesome.
Listen, provolone, it tastes good, it melts well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
And
it does.
Mozzarella shares in these qualities, therefore they're the two best cheeses.
They're supposed to be together,
That's right.
It's like the unholy union of apples and onions. No, I'm just kidding. It's like the amazing union of eggs and rice, like freshly cooked rice. So perfect together. How is it this good together? That's like our super broke meal. Like, oh man, we ran out of money and we got to eat tonight. Well, let's throw on rice and some eggs and throw it on top. We're good to go.
we do the old butter tortilla here.
Butter tortilla. That also works.
Yeah, that's my I'm poor today snack. Just a butter tortilla. Yes.
Got a good old fashioned butter tortilla, butter sandwich. Oh man.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's my childhood right there. Like, I needed a snack in the middle of the night. Didn't want to wake up the whole house. Go grab a piece of bread, put some butter on it, just walk away like nothing happened. And make a butter sandwich.
Yep.
Oh man. Now I'm hungry. Thanks me for bringing this up. I appreciate that.
You're gonna have to get some pizza in the next couple days.
I guess so. Well, we'll probably make it. So we've gotten to the point where we make like everything. We mill our own flour for bread and roast our own nuts. I roast my own coffee beans.
That's crazy to me. I hate cooking or preparing food. Like, the less I have to interact with food, the better. Except for eating it. I like eating it. I hate preparing it.
I won't quite say that I was like on that same vein, but I used to be the guy that was like, my expertise in cooking is making a sandwich or making pancakes. And just kind of like over time, as we've been like, oh man, I really wish I had this, but I can't go afford it at a restaurant, and do a tip and all that stuff. We just started making it at home, and it turns out it's way better because you made it, and you can make it exactly to your taste and everything. Girl, I made my own beef jerky, and it's the best beef jerky I've ever had. To make.
Beef jerky is fun to make. You get a little dehydrator.
Yes.
See, but I worked myself out a lovely situation where my roommate does all of the cooking and I do all of the cleaning, so I don't ever have to make anything. Because I hate cooking.
That works though.
Yeah.
The problem is when it's like, oh, you're doing all the cooking and cleaning, so what are you doing? You're like,
I've had roommates like that.
As long as one is doing one and one is doing the other, then it all kind of works together.
Yes. We get along very well. We have like our separate little, magically it lines up the things that I don't like doing, she likes doing, and vice versa. So it works out.
That is perfect harmony right there. You found it. You found nirvana. It's one person likes to cook, the other person likes to clean. There you go. Yep. That's all you need.
I do like to clean, and people find that weird, but I like actually like cleaning.
Is there a specific cleaning activity that's your favorite, like vacuuming or something like that? Because Snoop Dogg, his favorite thing in the world is vacuuming. Do you know that?
I
think that's crazy.
Can't relate. I have a Roomba. I try to make the Roomba do as much vacuuming as possible.
Well, let the robot gods work for you. Yeah.
The only trouble is my dogs leave their toys all over the house, and then the Roomba gets a little upset about
Sabotage.
But no, I like cleaning like mirrors and windows. It's satisfying, like if there's like stuff on it, you wipe it off, and then it's all nice and clean. It's satisfying.
Yes,
or
as
organizing.
Long as you
I really
don't
like
get
organizing.
Yes, I'm not as good with that. If I'm at work, I can organize like nobody's business. At home, I can't. I just can't. There's like a mental block. Yeah, I keep my desk area like decent, but like I still got like a pile of stuff like right next to me. Of course you can't see this, but I'm just gonna point to it. Like, look at this pile here. Do you see this? Can you see it through the microphone?
My bad habit with my desk is I drink a lot of Coke Zero and like a ton of water bottles, and I'll like not clear my water bottles off for like a week, and then I have like 50 water bottles on my desk. That's my like bad habit.
You got your backup for disaster situations. Like, we can hold lots of water.
Yeah.
Or it's the water bottle version of Signs. Did you see that movie?
Yeah. Okay. So I was just gonna say, my mom and my roommate, they pick on me because I have ADHD and I like forget what I'm doing. So most of my water bottles that I have like around the house are like half drank, and they're like, "What are you, the girl from Signs?" And I'm like, "No, I just can't pay attention and I don't remember where I put them." And I'm like, just you wait till the aliens show up and then we'll see who's laughing, huh?
That is so funny. Oh my god. Literally just made the same joke. That is so funny. Oh man. Oh, that's great. It's just in water bottle form instead of in a glass. Oh man.
Oh yeah, I'm not allowed to use glasses because I forget they're there and I tip them over.
Oh man. That's when it gets especially dangerous when you have a cat, because they're just gonna knock everything over. My cat, it depends. Certain things, if it crinkles, it's on the ground, man. He's gonna throw it on the ground. Bottles, usually not unless he's trying to drink out of it.
Yeah, I have my cat. I have like a bunch of like little like nerd like anime figures and like game figures and stuff. And she is obsessed with murdering them, and it drives me insane.
Is there one in particutor that
there is
gets murdered the most? Yes,
there is actually.
Go.
So they I don't know, like the like little pop-up parades, they're like really cheap little figures. They're like $30 or whatever. But they came out with Nier Automata ones. And my cat fucking hates 9S. Apparently.
Not to be, just 9S. Like,
just 9S.
Fuck that one in particular.
He has to be on the ground and he must be destroyed.
I hate these shorts.
Yeah.
Why you put them in boy shorts? Bam.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And I keep putting him in like different places and she finds him no matter, I'm doing the thing where I can't speak. No matter where he goes.
It's okay. You're in good company here because I also can't speak. I just play a guy who can speak on TV. Oh man. Oh, that's funny. 9S. That's the one.
That's the one. I don't know why.
Does it like crinkle or anything? Like, does it make a sound? Because I find that's usually what draws cats.
Nothing. It's just like a little plastic. There's nothing about it. He's just standing there. He's not even really in a cool pose. He's like literally just standing there.
Just standing there, being a boy,
just hanging
in
out,
shorts,
minding his own business, and the cat hates him.
Blindfold and everything. It's like, haha, that's a perfect victim. Bam.
She's like, he can't see it coming.
It's the perfect crime. Nobody saw it. Bam. Oh boy. That's crazy. Getting back to your channel, there's a common theme that I find in your work where you're really good at finding meaning and like interesting nuggets in otherwise ridiculous, convoluted, sometimes completely unintelligible works. It's like, what was that even supposed to mean? I was wondering what your thoughts were on this. Like, do you like dive into a lot of Reddit forums to find, some like deeper insights, or, I know you comb through like developer stories and things like that. I was just kind of interested in your process and, finding bits of wisdom and things that otherwise are like, wow, how? It's like, how do you get something out of this?
Well, my favorite thing to do is, sorry, my favorite thing to do is, if you look up a lot of old games, like the directors, you can find like little old magazine articles where they have like interviews and stuff like that. So my favorite thing to do is, if you play like the crustiest, jankiest game you've ever played in your life, but then you read an interview with like the writer or the director or something like that, they tend to like acknowledge that the game has bad parts to it, but then they explain, what the original intent was for the game or what the meaning is behind it. And that is like the most interesting thing to me, when there was like, nobody goes out with the intent to make something janky.
No.
Right. So it's like what their original purpose for it was, or the original vision of it. And they often in their little interviews give like really interesting little pieces of information about, what was supposed to be in it or what went wrong with developing it and stuff like that. And one thing I always keep in mind when I'm playing like a game that's not very good is, that mindset of, the person didn't intend to make this bad, or it wasn't intended to come out bad. So even though it's kind of janky and you can make fun of it, there's always like a little part of me that kind of takes it seriously, because I know that like somebody cared about it,
Someone had to make that. It's not like nowadays where it's like, hey, AI, make this piece of shit. just make a thing. Like someone actually had to go with a hammer and chisel and make that.
Yeah, exactly. And their intent was probably, that it isn't bad. Unless we're talking about like, just like cheapo shovelware games. Those probably don't have much behind them, but
or something especially cheesy like Countdown Vampires. Where I think the cheese is the point.
Part of me, there wasn't like a ton of information about the development of that game, and I didn't really find like a ton of interviews or anything on the game, and I do kind of wonder like what was the level of, we got to push out a little horror game because it's like, Resident Evil's big right now, versus like somebody that was like, I actually think this is like earnestly cool.
Like they think of themselves as an auteur, and they're like, they're vampires in a countdown in a dance club, like the.
And he's got tribal tattoos. He's so cool.
Yeah, and he's got his nips out. Girls love the nips.
You gotta make sure he takes that jacket off.
Yes, jacket off. But you still gotta have the shoulder holster, okay? Because otherwise he's not cool.
Well, okay, another thing that I find kind of interesting too is a game like Overblood 2, for example. The English localization of it was like a disaster, because they had that whole thing where it was like translated by, like I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like I think like Italians translated it from Japanese or something to English. It was something like that. And I'm like, I wonder, like, if you're a native Japanese speaker and you play the original game as it is, like, does it come across as that dorky? You know what I mean?
Right. Is it more serious in the original Japanese, or is it...
Right. Like, how much of it is the actual game? Yeah, versus the weird double translated madness that it turned out to be.
Unlike stuff like Harvester, where like you get the full intent and like there's no mistaking what it's going for. You got it. There's nothing lost in translation because there is no translation.
Yeah. Well, okay, so little sneak peek. I just got done recording Phantasmagoria last night. So I'm going to work on a video for that. And I don't know if you've ever seen or played that game.
No, I've heard about it, but I've never played it.
So I played it, back in the day and stuff. It's been a long time since I played it, but it's kind of notorious for being a little bit cheesy. Like the premise of it is a little dorky. And so I had never read anything about it, and I was reading about it last night, and the game was made by Roberta Williams that did a bunch of the Sierra games, and her little interviews about the game were like, she had like a 500-page script for this game. She took it really seriously. She wanted it to be like movie level production quality, and she had all these ideas for it, and it's her favorite game that she created. And it's so interesting to me because like just like actually looking at the game, like it's so like you can tell people cared about it, but like it's so cheesy, it's so dorky.
Right.
So it's like it's so interesting to me that it's like it actually had this tremendous production with like a lot of it actually had a really big budget and all of that too. So that's kind of interesting.
That's crazy. I was wondering, like, so I rewatched one of your episodes last night because I was just like, I need to like, get some like refresher stuff for like episodes that I really liked. And I was wondering if you were ever going to make another video game music that messed me up video again.
Okay, so that video is kind of a weird one. So I made that because me and one of my friends were talking about like game music, and then I was like, oh cool, I'll just put basically what I told my friend into a video. YouTube does not like it when you stray from the they kind of want you to make the same video over and over. Basically, the algorithm does.
That's true.
So something like that. I did start a little side channel, so I plan on doing things like that just over on the side channel.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, like the YouTube algorithm right now, they just changed it for 2025, and it just focuses more on if whatever you did worked, you need to keep doing that specific thing in that specific genre and only that.
Oh boy. Don't take chances. Don't do weird shit. Just do what you're doing.
Stick to it.
Stick to it, Jimmy. My name's not Jimmy. Stick to it, Jimmy. Well, I'm probably making YouTube very unhappy with stuff like that because, I've got my short stories and then I have, these nice big interviews. But I say whatever to Mr. YouTube. Gonna make it anyway.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I'm just gonna have I'll do the same thing on the main channel, and then I'll just do random crazy whatever I feel like doing on the side channel, and then the side channel can just be a free-for-all.
I wonder how much shorts are weighted into that, because like they want you to make shorts, right?
Okay,
like,
so
they keep trying to push that. You
want a tip about shorts? Shorts, if you're a long form content creator, I would recommend not posting shorts because the way that the algorithm works is, so let's say you get like 1,000 subscribers from shorts, right? But people that watch shorts may not be interested in long form content. So then if you go and you post a like 3-hour video on your, long form section of your channel, those 1,000 people, most of them probably will just keep clicking shorts, not that. So if they subscribe to you, then YouTube, sends that out to them and they're like, oh, you watched this person, but then all those 1,000 people don't click on it, and then your CTR tanks, and then YouTube goes, nobody wants to watch this. So they kind of have it set up for, you kind of want like a different channel for everything. Like if you're trying to like min-max the algorithm system, right? You want to have shorts on one channel, long form content on another channel, different genres of things all on their like dedicated channel, just because of how the stupid algorithm is right now.
That's so weird. I miss old YouTube where it's like, there's videos, bye.
Yeah.
See ya.
It's a good thing and a bad thing, because it's like, I feel like when you kind of like understand how it works, it's kind of easier to kind of like game the system a little bit. But it does kind of force people into boxes where it's like, nope, you gotta do the same thing. Oh, and you gotta make a clickbait thumbnail, and you have to make your title a certain way, otherwise you're not getting clicks. And then everybody's stuff kind of starts looking the same a little bit.
Yeah, and I wonder like how much of wonder how much of that is just going to like push more of those content farm, channels like more and more, because they scratch the algorithm the way it likes and stuff. It'd be really nice if you would de-incentivize those, some people that are actually making interesting stuff, like this person that I know, Earlybird, like their stuff gets out more.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I'm kind of in this middle ground where I do take the algorithm into consideration with things like, should I do the same kind of thing, or should I post something random? But I don't take it into consideration when I am like, oh, I'm just going to talk about Harvester for an hour, because that's not particularly algorithm friendly.
Yeah.
So things can succeed despite the algorithm, but yeah.
It seems to me like the amount of time that you give something is the amount of time that like it warrants itself. Like I feel like you needed that extra time for Shadowheart Covenant to like really help everything come together on like why that game is much better than like a lot of the reputation is around it, and things like that. Like you were making a very solid point with that one. Certain ones like Galarians, because it's a little bit shorter of a game, like of course it didn't need an extra half an hour like a lot of your videos, and kind of turned into about an hour and a half. Kind of depends on the runtime. I think the one that's kind of interesting to me is how different the runtime is on Darkseid and Darkseid 2. Is that just because they're like significantly longer on Darkseid 2?
Yeah,
Darkseid T? What? What did I just say?
So the original Darkseid, it's contagious.
No.
The original Darkseid, if you kind of know where to go and you sit down and you play it from start to finish, you can beat it in like an hour and a half. It's like really crazy. Short. Yeah, so Darkseid 2 has like a lot more characters, it has a lot more going on, and a lot of that game I kind of see, that's a game where it's like I could have made that video a lot longer too, but it just like I don't know, there was a lot of stuff in that game where I was like, this isn't that interesting. In Darkseid 1, I kind of had to milk it because I was like, oh my gosh, there's like barely any content in that game.
It's like, look at this HR Giger thing again.
Yeah.
Also, another HR Giger thing.
Yeah, the first game is just like, okay, you walk here, you go there. Oh, there's a guy in the grocery store. Cool. All right. And then that's like it.
It's really interesting, like how different and how the same those two are. Like, obviously, you didn't have the same guy voicing everybody like you did in the original game, which is just really sad. I felt for you there. As like, oh no, we need more. Was his name Ted or something like that? We need more Ted.
Yeah.
Where did Ted go? Why doesn't he work there anymore?
Yeah.
He needs to voice everyone. Get multiple voice actors. No, get that shit out of here. I need Ted.
We need that guy.
Yes. Need more Ted. Everybody needs more Ted.
Yeah, it's always interesting when game sequels have like almost different, like entirely different casts and like developers and stuff, because you're like, dang, it's almost not even the same game anymore.
Yeah. And you kind of wonder at certain points, like, did this start as a different game, and then the production company was like, I don't know if that's gonna sell. Let's slap Darkseid on that. And they're like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's this game that we had before, and we're gonna just throw a bunch of HR Giger in there. By the way, I'm saying it correctly for everybody
good job,
watching.
good job.
And if
part
you
of the
watch,
Giger gang.
Yeah, if you watch Darkseid, then you'll learn that it is Giger, not Geiger. Anyway,
you know what's funny is when I first recorded a little bit of the first Darkseid, I had always read it as Geiger. Probably, I think we all have it in our heads, like from Geiger Counter.
Yep.
But that's spelled differently.
Yes.
But I actually had to go back and re-record because I watched a documentary about him and he kept saying Giger, and I was like, wait a minute. So I Googled it and I was like, oh, I'm saying it wrong.
And so is everyone else. And now everyone can be fixed. Everyone listening. I'm just going to reinforce the lesson. Giger.
HR Giger.
How the dude says his name is how it is. Oh, boy. Another one of my, standard questions that I ask everybody is let's say you have an infinite budget. You can pull in any talent you want with no red tape or anything. You don't have to worry about contracts, from this studio to that studio or whatever. What would be your perfect game, movie, or TV show? Would it be an adaptation? Would it be something totally new? Is there something you've had in your head that you'd want to, have made? What would it be? Tell me about your perfect thing. There you go.
Okay.
That's nice and open-ended.
if I had all the money in the world, okay,
yes,
no restrictions, I have two things that I would go for.
I'm so ready. Let's go.
The first would be Shadow Hearts had a prequel designed for it, and they released some of the art and stuff for it, and it was originally supposed to be about Yuri and Kurando's dads and all the shenanigans that they got up to, back in the day. And that sounds really cool to me, and I am sad that it got canceled.
Yeah.
So I would try to get the gang back together and be like, could you please make that sequel or prequel for me specifically? Thank you.
Yeah. I support that.
They are working on a spiritual successor to Shadow Hearts, legally distinct, called Penny Blood. So hopefully that comes out someday. My second
that just makes
answer
me
to
think
that,
of penny for your blood. You're like, penny for your blood.
I guess they have I think it's set in the 20s or 30s or something like that, and then the name derived from the Penny Dreadful. Yeah. Something like that.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. My other answer to that would be I am a horse girl. I enjoy horses. I have horses in real life. And most horse girl games that come out are complete garbage.
Yes, they are.
So I would like a really high budget, well-made horse game.
Just call it Enjoy
but for now,
Horse.
For now, I have to settle for Red Dead 2. So that's the best horse girl game.
I was about to say that's probably as good as you're gonna get for now. Yeah. It's we'll have to wait later for The Horse and His Boy, the game, from Chronicles of Narnia.
I would
where
love
you can
that.
just
I
be
love
horse.
that book.
Oh, it's so good, isn't it? Is that your favorite of the Chronicles of Narnia?
So my mom used to read me those books when I was little, all of them, and along with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So I'm very nostalgic for all of them. I love all of the books. Yeah.
I think my favorite one is the second one. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I love Magician's Nephew because it's so different. I don't know. That's hard.
They're all good. They're all good. Being horse centric does help me though.
That's true. That's true. I remember like the first time I started reading it, I like picked it up and I read like the first few chapters and I put it down. For some reason I wasn't into it. And then like a couple months later, I picked it up, read it in a night. I'm like, what the hell happened? How did I get all the way through this in a night? Oh man. Somehow we got to Chronicles of Narnia. I love this.
We got Pokemon, we got Narnia. What else can we throw in here?
I love seeing the tangents that we get to. You know, now we know you're a Totodile girl, you're a Provolone girl, you're a horse girl. We're building up a repertoire of girl here. Oh man. Oh, that's funny. So I kind of touched on this before. But one of the things that like really kept me sticking around your channel and watching and things like that is like your perfect balance of humor and sincerity in your works. And that is so difficult to hit without like watering down one or the other, you know, like it's like trying to do a horror comedy. It's like, how do you do that without, you know, just making the horror part funny or making the funny part not funny because it's horror? How do you keep that sweet spot? Do you have a certain like rule of thumb where it's like, okay, it's time for a joke, okay, we need to take this seriously, you know, like I find it so interesting that you're able to strike that perfect balance there.
I think that's one of the things that you know, being a little bit ADHD kind of gives me a leg up. My brain, I constantly, I can switch subjects and tone like very easily, and like I just talk like that. Like one minute I'll be, you know, having an existential crisis, and the next minute I'm joking about something. I'm just kind of like that. But I think also part of it, what we were talking about earlier, where knowing that the intent of the game wasn't to be bad, and so it's like, even though you're making fun of it, I do still kind of mentally try to take it seriously a little bit. So that kind of naturally lends into, you know, it is janky, and so I can make fun of it, but also like I am kind of trying to take it seriously. So that just kind of naturally works out like that a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man. Cause I was wondering, is like, is there, you know, some people, you know, they have like a chart that tells them like, okay, timing for this is, you know, run out and stuff like that. I was wondering if there was like some sort of rule of thumb, but I mean, that's one of the things that you kind of gotta feel. So that makes sense. Okay.
So, I was talking to somebody, another content creator, and we were trying to help each other out, and they were like, you know, what is your script writing process like? And I was like, I don't write a script. And they were like, what do you mean you don't write a script? And I was like, yeah, I just kind of like, I organize all of the footage. Like, I'm like, okay, here's all the cutscenes. Here's, you know, the important parts of the narrative of the game. And then I just watch through them, and then I chop out the part that I want in there, and then I just say something about it. So I think that probably lends to that a little bit too. Cause I don't really write a script or anything. I just kind of chop stuff up and then talk over it and then move on to the next scene. So there's a little bit of, you know, well, and then like one day I might like, I'll be talking about a scene that has something that's like meaningful or earnest in it. And then maybe I put it away for the night, and then the next day I come back and it's like, oh, this is funny. And I forgot what I was talking about before. So, but yeah, I don't.
By the way, check this thing out.
I don't have the attention span to sit down and write out a script. So
that's really interesting. I wouldn't have expected that, because you get so not trying to say like you get so deep, but like you really get at like these really interesting nuggets of wisdom. You know, it's interesting to me that it's not fully written out. Like, so you don't even do like an outline or anything for it?
Not at all.
You just kind of have the clips.
Yeah,
and stuff?
I'm not organized enough for all of that, unfortunately. I just kind of wing it.
That is, you know what? Mad respect. That makes me appreciate your channel even more. I did not know that. That is amazing.
Now, in my defense, okay. So it's not like I sit down and I just go, I have all these interesting things to say like in a row, right? Like
right.
You get like, I can edit it, I can redo it, I can move things around.
Yeah.
Like they're very heavily edited. So it's not like I just I sit down and I have all these magical ideas. it's not like that at all.
But still, like, it all comes into this perfectly cohesive thought that seems like you wrote it all down, right? Like that's what's amazing to me. You know,
well,
like,
so usually what I'll do is like once I have everything together, I kind of leave everything like segmented apart, like on my little video editing timeline. And then I go through and I watch it all together and I'm like, oh, wait, this would make more sense if I move it over here. So I kind of scoot things around or re-record things to try to make it more cohesive, because sometimes it's all over the place. So it's like kind of in like my little final edit, I put everything together. So that's easier for me, I guess, than writing a script.
That is really cool. Like that, don't like sell yourself short. That is extremely cool. I love that.
So the one video that I did write a script on actually was the one talking about music soundtrack. And I think that you can tell, I think you can really, really tell that I was reading off of a script on that one, because I posted that and one of my friends messaged me and she was like, dude, you sound like you're dead inside. Like,
because it was like so rehearsed, so watered.
Yeah, it was like so rehearsed, and I was like just reading line after line, and then I didn't really notice it at the time when I was editing it, but like I went back and I watched it and I was like, oh my god, like I sound, it sounds like I'm reading something. So
oh man. Well, I just got a new level of appreciation for your channel that I never would have, known about. It's just another layer of being super thankful to have done this, to have had this opportunity to talk to you. And oh man, it's like beside myself. It's amazing. All right, so I had one last thing that I wanted to talk about before we start wrapping up for today, and you'll officially be the first person that we've ever actually gotten through my entire list of questions in one go. So,
oh yeah, we stayed on track.
Yeah, big celebration there. A lot of the games that you cover are, they're pretty long in the tooth, on the older side. It's, a lot of them are kind of off the beaten path, like the point and clicks, things like that. That was one of the, reasons that like I really, latched onto your channel, because it's like, all these things that I'd never seen before that I could learn about, things like that. Given that, I was really interested in your thoughts on something that's becoming more and more pressing and much more of a hot topic these days, game preservation. It's these days it seems like game preservation is just like being thrown to the side of the curb. So it's kind of interested in your thoughts on that, and like kind of exploring the weirder side of gaming, that's kind of off the beaten path.
Well, for the game preservation side, I think it's a pretty common opinion among us that enjoy older games, is that it's really frustrating to see like a 2-decade-old copyright that nobody even like owns or cares about anymore, and they still can't do anything to put it onto like a modern platform or anything legally. And there's a lot of people that preserve games online, but the other problem with that is like the average normal person would have a really hard time figuring out an emulator for the first time. Especially like some emulators are really easy, some are difficult. A lot of people are a little bit intimidated by that. Like barely anybody has like old PCs or consoles laying around. And like, especially like old PC games, like getting a game from the 90s to run is like a nightmare.
Yes. Oh my God.
Darkseid 2 gave me a lot of a lot of problems. So like there's some like preservation sites that like you can go and open and just play Darkseid 2 like in your browser, for example. But Darkseid 2 has this weird compatibility thing where it likes to make the speech stutter, and I didn't want to record it that way, so I set up a whole, virtual box PC, blah 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 blah, to get it running without the slight like audio issue. And for a lot of people that they're not going to be able to or want to do any of that. So I think it's really cool
or even
that we
know
can,
you could do that. Some people
exactly.
would be like, wait, you can do that?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it is cool. It's really good that people post these things online for people to access. And then for the people that can't access them, I think it's really cool to be able to make content about the games and kind of keep them alive despite their weird copyright purgatory.
Yeah. And there's been a couple of games that you've covered that's like, if I come across that on a site or I come across that in real life, something like that, I'm picking it up. I'm just picking it up so I can have it, or I can, play it someday, something, right? Like Shadow Hearts. I'm like kind of dying to play Shadow Hearts now because of your Shadow Hearts stuff.
Okay, that actually that brings up in my mind a really good point about the game preservation thing. Picking up physical copies of games these days, like you look at like the price of like Silent Hill 2 and 3 and all of them, they're like, or Haunting Ground, they're like $400-$500. Code Elka, like a physical copy of that game, it's like several $100, and it's like, so for somebody that wants to experience things, that doesn't want to emulate it or whatever, it's like not an affordable
feasible
hobby. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be on the other side of that. I used to work for, as kind of part of, no, they're not part of Half Price Books. It's one of those used movie game places called Movie Trading Co. And we had like a whole locked cabinet of like the super high priced games, like, dude, if you had an original copy of Dr. Mario, people were gonna flip their shit like, oh my god. We were gonna pay out the nose for that, just because we had like a waiting list of people that are like, if you ever get Dr. Mario, I want it.
Yeah. My current white whale is a physical copy of Rule of Rose. I would really like that, but they're pretty expensive. And the worst thing about it is I used to own that game because I used to buy like every PS2 horror game ever from GameStop, but I let a friend borrow it and I never saw it again.
That son of a bitch. That's always how it seems to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and then back then I really didn't care because I was like, oh, well, whatever. It's just, I grabbed that from GameStop for like $10 or whatever.
Now it's like, man, that $10 looks really good.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and then you had also mentioned like exploring like the weirder side of games. I specifically really like some of the older games because they're so weird. And I think a problem that like big AAA games have right now is that their budgets are so big that they have to succeed. So they tend to play like to the safest, widest possible demographic, right? And part of that includes like not including anything like too gory, too scary, too controversial, too taboo, stuff like that. So we see kind of like the same formula and the same, like level of pretty mild kind of stories and stuff like that, versus these older games. They just did whatever they wanted, and you'd get crazy stuff like, like Harvester and all of that. So, but I do appreciate indie games of today that, they kind of keep that side of being able to do whatever they want alive. And we get some really good indie games. But I do wish like the AAA industry starts taking a little bit, get a little bit more risky. I understand why they can't, but they're getting pretty. We keep kind of seeing the same thing over and over in the big budget games.
Well, especially when you have projects like Claire Obscure Expedition 33 that just like drops on the market like a fucking nuke.
Out of nowhere, too. Yeah.
I have been playing that game nonstop since it came out. I was playing Oblivion Remastered, and I've completely dropped it. Ever since that came out. It's like,
I've played the first about hour and a half of it, and I have not had time to keep playing it. So I'm like, I'm really looking forward to getting through more of the story. It's definitely interesting. So
I literally will not say anything just because I don't want to spoil shit for you. But I might actually do like a little not video essay because, well, who knows? Maybe I will. Just because I appreciate the game so much. I've kind of dabbled in game reviews before. I have a lot to say about this game, like so much to talk about, because this is something truly special. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe when you get a chance to beat it, we'll just like talk about it. That would be sick.
I'm down. It definitely seems like I'm at the point right now. I think I just finished like the first chapter or something like that, and I'm like, where is this going? This is insane. So
it's one of those games that like I'm really good at calling where a game's gonna go. I have not made a single fucking call this whole time. Like, what the shit? This is awesome. I love being wrong.
Yeah, it's very, very unique, and I can definitely see how it would be really unpredictable. So it's definitely an interesting game for sure.
That opening chapter is just such an effective hook. Like, immediately gets you super invested. Like, I need to do this so hard. Let's go.
Yeah. Definitely a very, very memorable intro.
Oh, for sure. That's going to be up there with shish kebab time with Aerith from Final Fantasy. Shish kebab, cooking shish kebabs.
Yep. It's all that happens. It's just that.
She loves them.
She loves them.
It's her favorite. All right. Well, we're definitely going to have links to your YouTube channel, all the things down in the description. Anything you would like to call out, plug, anything like that, anything coming up? You talked about Phantasmagoria, right?
Yep, that's the one I will be currently working on. Yep. So that'll be soon.
I'm so ready for that.
I'm in an FMV
anything
mood,
you'd
apparently.
like to plug.
I mean, I basically I have the YouTube channel, and then we have like the Discord server. We do little events, and sometimes we have like little contests, fighting game tournaments, stuff like that. So if anybody thinks that sounds like fun, you can catch us on the Discord server.
And as you used to say in your videos, come join my Discord so you can show me pictures of your dog.
Yes. The pet channel in the Discord server is always popping off, and we love to see everybody's pets. And I post mine there as well.
Oh man, so good. I love that outro so much, along with the bit from King of the Hill. We're just like
the pocket sand or the
the
screaming
looking
TV.
at the camera.
Yeah.
Oh man, I might have to see.
I gotta make more of those.
I might have to see if you can send that video file over so I can show people what I'm talking about. It's so good. It's so funny. Oh boy. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure. Somehow I didn't just fan out this whole time, and just like, oh my God, we actually had a conversation. I was so worried I'd just be like, the whole time. But I just want to close by saying that your channel is really special to me. It's been wonderful to laugh with you and learn about some of these, crazy games and things like that. And I want you to know that your work, you call it content, I call it art, is very much so appreciated. And it was absolutely fantastic meeting with you, and you are 100% invited anytime back on the show. So seriously, thank you so much.
We got to talk about Expedition 33.
Yes, especially when we can say words.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, it's striking right now. Right at the end.
It'll find you when you least expect it. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you for the kind words. That's very nice of you, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, everyone, that has been Earlybird. If you would like to see more of Earlybird, oh man, no.
Ooh, we got one more. I thought I had the last one.
I had to have the last laugh. This is my show, Earlybird. If you like what you heard, wow, man, I really can't talk now. If you'd like to see more of Earlybird, go check out Earlybird's channel, check out Discord. If you'd like to see more of Earlybird here, let us know, because I read every single comment. Some people don't do that. I do that. Early does that. So
I do.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Perimeter breach. Perimeter breach. I
hope you enjoyed today's show. What did you think of the episode? Leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought, or leave a question for my new monthly Q&A episode. Before you go, please be sure to leave a like and share the show with a friend. It makes a massive difference in helping with discovery of the show, but also lets me know what you'd like to see more of. Check out the link tree below in the description to see all the different ways you can enjoy the show, or how to connect on social media and Discord. Special thanks to Fulfill Your Destiny for being a paid subscriber on Substack. Your contribution makes this show possible, and I cannot thank you enough for your support. If you would like to be featured in the show's special thanks, as well as other perks, please check out my Substack link in my link tree. Words cannot express how much I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to see what I've been working on, and I truly hope to see you again soon. Until next time, good fortune, good health, and good day.